Hey fishing folks, welcome to Blue Collar Fishing. Today is Friday, and on Fridays we talk about 5 different things in the fishing industry. They can be arranged to a bunch of different topics, whatever the topic of that week is. Well, this week, with the trout opener and statewide here in Pennsylvania being tomorrow, we're going to talk about 5 things that you can carry with you to go fish those stock trout areas in the opener and later on. Now today's video will be about artificial baits and baits that's lures and baits that you can carry in your bank bag or that you can keep in your truck or vehicle or whatever. Now that eliminates live bait because, well, live bait, ruins. It's perishable. Live bait has to stay cold and moist in most cases. Minnows are really perishable, although they are really good bait for trout. It's not going to make today's list. Now, a lot of people will tell you that stock trout or the trout opener is like fishing in a toilet bowl. Too easy. That's not always the case. Yes, in some cases, trout fishing can go like that. I can go and be limited out in 30 minutes. Other cases, I have to work all day at it to limit out. Sometimes I don't limit out at all. Trout adapt faster than almost any other fish. They adapt to their environment and their surroundings. You can go back for the same trout in the same spot that you were catching one after another a week later, and you can't beg them to bite. They've become accustomed to the diet and the waterways that the food that they have available in the waterways that they've been put in. Trout can become really finicky overnight. But here are 5 items that you can keep with you, probably catch a trout on. For me, at number 5, the 5th thing I put in my box is the Castmaster. Art Laval invented the Acme tackle company in 1952. He took electroplating jewelry technique inspired by his brother Al, and he applied that to fishing lures. And he started making fishing lures with the Acme company by electroplating. He later worked out a royal agreement with Engineering Design Associates and developed the Castmaster. Now the Castmaster, like I said, is basically a spoon. It's a spoon style bait, but it's shaved to be a little more aerodynamic. Once Art Laval got a hold of it through Acme Tackle Company, he elongated the lure and gave it more of a jewelry appearance like his other lures, making it a little shiny, giving it some flicker and glitter in the water. Sometimes a lot of those curve-shaped spoons will helicopter on you. The Castmaster has an aerodynamic design that will cut through the wind and cast straight, thus the Castmaster. At number 4, I'm going to go with salmon eggs. Now, salmon eggs can be a little finicky to fish with, and you probably want to take some tutorials on them if you're going to use salmon egg for trout. And if I'm going to use a salmon egg, I'm going to use the one in the green lid, and I'm going with Potskis. Potskis was founded in Ellensburg, Washington in 1934. They've been around for a long time. They're available almost anywhere. You can find them at just about any Walmart or sporting goods store. There's different styles and ways that you can fish the salmon eggs. And the one thing to keep in mind with salmon eggs and fishing with them is that they don't float. So you're going to have to figure out a way to rig them that keeps them from getting caught up on the bottom. My number 3 lure is a lure that has only been around since 1997. Invented by the Leland Lure Company, the Trout Magnet was the only lure that Leland manufactured for years. They now also manufacture SOS Trout Line monofilament, and they manufacture a lure called the Crappie Magnet, taking the same principles that they learned with the Trout Magnet and applying it to crappie fishing. Now the Trout Magnet has been one of the most effective lures for trout since its inception. That small, well-balanced jig head with that small trailer can really entice those stock trout to bite. And it's been very effective for me, and I have limited out several times on the Trout Magnet. And number 2 is my all-time favorite, and that's going to be the inline spinner. Now, if it's my all-time favorite, you're probably wondering why it's not number 1, because this is 5 bait to carry for trout. The inline spinner most of us grew up with is probably going to be the rooster tail. The rooster tail was invented by a man named Howard Warden in the 1950s, and is invented as the Warden Bait and Tackle Company. Later changed its name to the Yakima Bait Company. I'm not exactly sure why they changed their name to Yakima or where that came from, But the Yakima Bait Company sells the rooster tail style of the inline spinner, and that is the most widely available fishing lure on the market. You can find the rooster tail growing up in just about everywhere. I grew up in a very rural Appalachian town in Tennessee. We used to buy these things at a gas station store 11 miles from a town. We've bought them in drugstores and gas stations. Anywhere near a lake probably had some rooster tails hanging on the wall. The first artificial lure we all learned to use on as kids, and it's just been effective. It's been effective since the 1950s and still works to this day. You can catch a variety of species on an inline spinner. They're very effective. They come in different color patterns, and the color I'm going to carry are going to be your white and silver blade and your black and gold blade. Rooster tail also has a hammered blade on the spinner, so it gives more of a refraction of light as it spins around. Berkeley started by a man named Berkeley Bedell in 1937, and he started out making monofilament. You know it today as trilene. Most of us, the first monofilament or fishing line that we bought for our rods and reels was probably trilene. In 1988, a chemical engineer named John Prochnow invented a new style of bait that really brought trout fishing to the masses. Before John Prochnow's invention, fly fishing was the most popular way to catch trout. A scented dough type bait that you could mold and shape around a hook, and that became the Berkeley power bait. The biggest thing about power bait for me, and the reason it's my number one, is I have two sons that I take fishing on occasion, and this stuff is easy to use. If you're going to take kids to these stock trout days, you want a bait that's easy to use and a bait that they can catch fish on, and the power bait fits both of those bills. Well guys, that's it for this Friday. Thanks for watching our 5 and 5. If you like this video, please click the like button below. And if you haven't already, I'd really appreciate it if you go ahead and click that little red subscribe button. We make new videos every week here on the Blue Collar Fishing YouTube channel. Maybe I'll see y'all out on the trout waters tomorrow. And as always, thanks for watching everybody, and tight lines.